Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of the Lee Exchange, a podcast that aims to answer your questions about fresh robotics in everyday life. My name's Anushka.
And my name is Christian, one of your new co-hosts for the show. Today we've got FTC Team Nebula 12382 to talk with us about their experiences in FTC.
Now that our guests are here, how about each of you introduce yourselves, talk about your name, your grade, and your role in the team.
Okay, hi, I'm Samuel. I'm in 9th grade, Team Nebula, and I am the head programmer.
All right, I'll go. I'm Vade. I'm in 9th grade, part of the Nebula team, and I am the head builder.
All right. I'm Terrence Bomber. I'm also in 9th grade, and I am also a builder for Team Nebula.
My name's Catherine. I'm also in 9th grade because Nebula's the 9th grade team, and I'm the catter, I guess.
Nice.
All right. Okay. So, let's start by talking about your upcoming competition this week. Do you guys want to talk about this? Tell us what's going on, how things are going, and how you guys are preparing.
All right. So for the past week, we have been implementing a new design for our arm. So this is our arm. It can extend and retract, which was a major problem that we had last time, was that we weren't able to get the intake, get the blocks into the arm or the intake, and that's where we lost a lot of our points and our time. So this extendable arm allows us to grab the freight more easily and quicker. And Vade will also probably talk about the intake that he designed.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously our intake, we got two gecko wheels, kind of have some sort of traction to them that spin in the same in opposite directions. So it creates this effect where it could draw a block in and output the block at another time. So we tried to implement this for our first competition, but didn't really work out because we ran out of time. But we did it now, and it is ready. So really, I don't have much building left to do, and we are in a good place right now, I should say.
Okay, all right, okay. So how are you guys doing so far then in terms of your matches and throughout the season? At this point, how do you guys think you guys are doing?
A couple days ago, we had a practice run almost, where we were able to get quite a lot of freight into the the hub, and we timed ourselves. I think that we will be able to get a pretty good score, and we haven't tested teleop fully yet, but that is a major part of our points. But I'm pretty sure Samuel can tell you about that, right?
I think you meant autonomous, but yeah, we have teleop down. We're not going to change that anymore. Yeah, I have to write a lot of the autonomous still for the competition this weekend, but I'm sure we'll come together in time.
All right.
That's great. I'm sure he said great things, but could not hear him. It's fine. I assume you talked about your game plan, so why don't you guys talk about your game plan and tell us a little bit about what it is now and how it's changed from your first qualifier to this one right now.
All right, so I think our main game plan was to just focus on the robot, because we kind of couldn't change much in the 3 weeks within our business part of the team, outreach and notebook as well. So we kind of just tried to make improvements to the robot, and the two main improvements we did make were to the arm and to the intake. But in terms of when we actually run the matches, Sawmill has been able to implement a camera detection program, so we should be able to score the full 46 points every time for autonomous program if everything runs smoothly. Yeah, and then in terms of teleops, with the whole intake and the extendable arm, it's a lot easier to score points. So we have a positive outlook for the next qualifier.
So in terms of your game plan, when it comes to the robot, what are some of the things that you guys have weighed the positive outputs out? One of the biggest things for teams this year is going over the barrier or going around the barrier. So do you guys want to talk about a little bit about your thinking when designing your robot?
There was a really large discussion about whether going over or around was the best decision. I think we spent like a good meeting just holding votes on that. And it really went back and forth for a while there because like we held a vote, everybody voted to go around, and the next time we show up, we're going over. So, but we ended up settling on getting these huge mechanism wheels that could just roll over the barrier because then we could just go straight through and not have to worry about like keeping our robot in the size meant to go around and like having to maneuver around the barrier to get into the freight.
Did you face any challenges just in general when your original designs just didn't work out as good? So, because you guys switched from going around to going over, were there any challenges that you guys faced in that way or anything else?
Yeah, I mean, when we first went around the barrier, we realized that took way too much time. Like it took at least half a minute to get around and back over to like the shipping element, like the shipping hub and all. So I think that's what was a real like, you know, mind shifter for us to go over it. And we did get those 6-inch mechanism wheels that allowed us to strafe and also go over. But yeah, we did have some people expressing doubts if whether or not it would go over. But we tested it, and now we're here.
There was also doubts about whether or not the motors we would use would be able to power the wheels without, breaking. But I think we got new motors for that, right?
Yeah, because the motors did break because they could not
Yeah,
power
it
the
was
wheels.
great. It was great.
All of them. Luckily, we only before the first qualifier, only one of the gearboxes broke down, so I was able to replace that one, and then right after the quals ended, they broke most of it.
Wow. All right. Okay. So moving on from that, let's talk about your team as a whole. So, I mean, for most teams throughout their season, there's a lot that happens. So is there anything that you guys are all proud of together, or like, do you guys have like one big thing that you're proud of, or individually some things that you're proud of that your team has done this year?
Well, this is our first year together as a team. So I'm kind of proud that we were all able to like connect because this is going to be our team for the next 4 years, unless some people go to syndicate or whatever. But like, I think we've been able to get close. We're all on the same page with each other most of the time.
But I think one major thing was winning the scrimmage. You know.
You
I
did
can
not do
believe
that.
it.
I don't think you could take credit for that, Terrence. That was
Hey, I mean, drivers
That was
were
that was
part, but I
100%
did help
Sawmill.
build
His,
the robot
it
itself.
was Sawmill Invade, not Terrence.
Hey, imagine talking to third person.
Sawmill, do you have any input?
Yeah, so you all are freshmen, and that's got to be tough. So on top of having a COVID season, you all have no idea what you're doing when you first come into that. So what was that like?
I mean, like, yeah, we actually do have a little bit of influence of what will happen thanks to the scrimmage hosted by Syborgs. But other than that, I mean, like, it's kind of scary to see maybe all these other teams and all these like imposing robots from teams who have more experience and like have more time to make the robot. But I think overall, we're pretty proud of what we have, and I think we have a pretty good chance at this qualifier.
Yeah, the scrimmage was one of the first times I ever saw like what a real robotics competition was, because I didn't have a very good idea of what the FTC program was like. When I thought about robots, it was usually like the really fancy ones at Boston Dynamics where you have all the machinery tucked inside a nice plastic case. So, but it's interesting to see how the actual robot looks underneath all the plastic casings and the stuff you have to do when you get to the consumer part of it.
I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Like when I first came into robotics as well, I expected like robotics to be like those really fancy like Boston Dynamics.
We don't have the budget for that.
Yeah.
We don't have the budget for anything.
And like the scrimmage with the playing field, I didn't realize that it would feel so electric as we were trying to win. It was pretty cool.
Was it like supposed to be a pun because robots, electricity?
Vade, shut up.
Speaking of budgets, Samuel doesn't have the budget for a mic.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You need to
damn.
come at them.
Oh, the shade.
We're trying to keep this civil, okay?
Don't worry, you could just message his mom to get him another one.
Anyway,
This is gonna be like 50% usable audio.
Yeah, no, that's what we do most of the time.
0% from Sawmill.
As long as there are no blood bags, we're good.
Just don't ask about programming, and they'll be fine.
We'll ignore that part. So, even though you guys are a relatively new team, you said earlier that you've become a little bit closer. How did you guys exactly bond as a team? Did you guys know each other beforehand, or did you all meet through robotics?
I think we all met through robotics. The only person that I knew was Sawmill, wherever he is right now. But yeah, so I think it was all through robotics, and then like we kind of just would stay late. So you know, some people better than others because you just see them more often.
Is there anything you like, one particular thing that you guys like about being on a team with each other and that team feeling? Anything?
It was pretty cool when we won an award.
Yeah, right, Sawmill.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw, but like when we won the award, there was a Jericho kid, I think, that said El Syosset, and I just replied, "That's not very gracious."
Oh my god.
Yeah,
And, I'm
And
pretty
then
sure
and they
deleted
retracted
yeah,
their
they deleted
comment.
their comment.
You
Using
can
the
retract
term
comments on
Yeah, you
YouTube
can
Live?
delete comments.
That's crazy.
Teardown is God. There's no other explanation.
oh, okay. Well, you guys were just for everybody. Nebula won Motivate Award at their last qualifier. So on that
Somehow.
topic, so I was going to
Don't
ask,
say
how
that.
have you
Say that. We had a
motivated?
very good outreach program.
yeah, but we're basically like in exchange for advertisement, we are getting money from these local businesses. So we're kind of like bonding with the rest of Syosset as we and like being more part of it as we get these CCLs.
Bonding through the medium of sweet, sweet capitalism.
So I guess we'll skip to the next one. Because Samuel can't speak, I'll ask this to the rest of you guys. How have you guys approached like efficiently programming your robot? Like before programming, did you guys like talk as a team, or did you kind of just give it to your head programmer and like see what he wants you guys to do?
I mean, like in the beginning of the year when Samuel wasn't part of the team, most of us were just focusing on building, so we didn't really have any care about the programming aspect of it. But although we did have like quote unquote programmers, we didn't know their like proficiency in coding, so we thought we had it under control, and then Samuel came in and then showed us how you actually code.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems was that a lot of the programmers on the team had their previous experience in Scratch or Python or like I don't know, HTML, and those weren't really languages that could be applied to Python. Maybe, I'm not sure, but Samuel knows Java, so he basically just saved us from Scratch purgatory.
No, and at some point of time, like as I don't remember when exactly, but our coach did expect Samuel to teach other kids programming. I don't know what happened with that. Samuel, you want to explain why you kind of averted from that? Shaking his head no.
Hey, we do not talk about that.
If he ain't getting paid for it, he's not finishing.
In general, how did you guys manage team roles and like what each person should be doing?
Remember that one time where Morris just like called everybody to split into 3 groups?
Yeah.
But for our team roles, everyone kind of just fell into place. Like there were some people who were working on the building aspect of it more. Some people were working more on the business aspect of our team, And like same
Shout out
thing
to
for notebook.
Allison and Edison single-handedly carrying the entire notebook on their backs.
Yeah, and then we had Sawmill who just programmed.
Existed.
Right,
If he
Sawmill?
wants to explain his actual job, he could talk, but like, you know.
He's just here to like say yes or no.
Okay.
Rest is sign language.
No, he can't say things though.
He's trying to say something. Trying to say something.
It's okay. We usually put the programmers in the corner and expect them to just work.
Didn't you really want to be a programmer? I don't think you should be talking right now.
And listen, I switched to builder for the pure reason builders get.
You didn't switch
You
to builder like you had a choice. You switched to builder because you were forced to.
Emotional damage.
When I was head of business, I had your job, and then I stepped down.
Yeah, no, you want to know why you have my job? Because that's the only job that was available for you. And that too, you didn't even do it. I don't want to hear it.
I don't know what you're talking about. The most money we had was freshman year, $6,000. Listen, builders get paid. Nothing.
Time to bring out the seasoned
Retaliate.
interviewer voice.
Seasoned interviewer. That's not us.
Okay.
Going back to all of you guys as a team, there's one question that we accidentally skipped over. What are some of the strengths and weaknesses that you saw?
Of like everyone?
Yeah, amongst yourselves.
We have
I
one
think-
programmer.
Yeah, that's a main problem. We don't have a lot of people to provide input. That's why sometimes I think we do get help from other teams. It's just something that we need to work on, having more programmers. And a lot of people who don't like multitask, including myself. I do mostly building though, so like I don't focus on anything else. So I feel like that's something that everyone on the team has to work on, because I think if we all focus on one part of like our team, we don't know about anything else. So
Yeah, and if we're gonna talk about weaknesses mainly, I think it's kind of like it falls into a department thing. Like we have strong we have a strong Sawmill, we have strong builders, we have a pretty solid notebook, I could say, and then business is actually really good. We got a lot of CCL, but then outreach is where things kind of start to get iffy. I don't know what they've done so far this year, but they are planning something.
we know that we
Girl
have
Scouts.
plans for it.
Yeah, we have plans, just no actions. But
Yeah.
I think everyone's been doing their fair share.
No, it's just mostly like there's 50 builders and 3 show up. That's another thing.
Yeah, not everyone has the same dedication.
I think that's what you guys will see freshman year, though. Like for us, we had a much larger initial start off to what we've come to right now as a team. Everybody usually like the time and commitment, because robotics is a lot, and a lot of people don't know what they're getting into. But as like you guys age, and as you guys get older and more mature, you'll see everybody really fall into place, and you'll become a pretty cohesive unit of people. Yeah,
definitely. If we're looking back at our years, freshman year, we had a lot of people. And then 10th grade, there was only we had like relatively the same amount, only like 5 people were really doing work though. 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, like we had like 7 people really putting in work, and those people got recognized obviously last year a lot. But yeah.
There's 32 students in the Team Nebula classroom, and I don't recognize half the names.
That's fun.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't really kick them out yet, so.
Well, moving on. You guys were talking about outreach. So in terms of outreach, how do you guys plan to do outreach this year, or what do you guys have coming up that we're hopefully all going to be excited to see?
I got this. All right. So we are planning something with the Girl Scouts. It's like we've had people talk to their troop leaders to see if they could organize something to get the scouts their robotics badges. So like we're probably thinking of something in person where we do something with like Lego EV3 robots, or like something small. And with that, it would be able to a way to reach out to the scouts, and then they'd also be getting their badges and everything. So it works out for everyone. But
Yeah,
it's
the
gonna
problem
happen
with
around May because of COVID
Yeah.
and everything.
That's the main problem. And last time when I think it was in the pit interview, they said they wanted to see something by the next qual. So I don't know if we can't do it virtually so far. It's just not ideal to do, building with robotics online. So I guess that was just something that we could not complete.
We do have a pretty strong business section, though, I think, because Mizpah has been going around getting the bacon for us. I remember this one time she walked into the robotics room and just started screaming at people about CCLs.
Yes, that is.
It was something. It was something. But we have $400. How much money do we have now? What did we spend?
We spent $200 on motors. And
So we still have $200, right?
Yeah, we have a fair share of money. We don't want anyone.
We have more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime. Is what I'll say.
All right.
That's so sad.
Yeah, Samuel, if you're so disappointed, how about you speak up and say something?
Yeah, that's right, Samuel. Anyways,
Good job, Samuel.
Am I supposed to be talking? Can anybody hear me?
Is there anything that?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, I heard that, Salma.
You heard that?
So
Okay, no, just scream at the top of your lungs.
Okay, we actually have $800, but nonetheless. Carry on.
Oh, thank you, Samuel, for your very useful input.
$800.
Well, $800 is pretty good considering the fact that our team is broke thanks to Krishan right over here.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
pretty sure.
why?
Is it you that
allow
still
me to explain
or
the
another
spending. So we
I think
started
it's
off.
still us, right?
What?
There's a team that still owes us $100, something like that.
Who
That
owes
is-
you guys $100?
That is your team. That
That is elite. Yep.
that is elite.
We owe you.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
I forgot
No,
No,
to
Christian, when did it happen?
Like you said, it's mainly due to Christian.
Why do we owe them $100?
Because me and Hudson got trigger happy with money.
You guys are so stupid.
Let's talk about your mom now, Samuel.
We have
Um,
Yash.
If you were to date one variable from Java, what would it be?
What are these questions?
Mm,
Why don't you answer that question, Krishan?
Probably a long. You know what a long is? We'd have something in common. But yeah.
I'm guessing it means the opposite of what it stands for.
I was gonna say the amount of errors you have. Long. You know, I feel like I did a Boolean because women are confusing sometimes. Boolean is just true false, man.
This is facts.
Krishan, I just think it's because you're moody. It's not the women, it's you, bro.
That's on
Oh, I just
integers.
realized you guys are wearing the Syosset Elite merch.
No, yeah.
You got a rep.
Speaking of merch, we don't have any.
Don't start now. It will
Oh, yeah.
never end if we start talking about
Can
our
I say the thing about the t-shirts, or should we not say that?
What do you
We
want?
should say that.
Does it involve
Okay.
blood bags?
Can I please tell the story about the t-shirts?
Go
Alright,
for
sure.
it.
Okay, so we walk into the meeting, right? We walk into the meeting, we go out, and Mr. Moores asks us, "What about the t-shirts?" Well, no, okay. So that's a good question. What about the t-shirts? Okay, so it turns out we have the design with the CCLs printed on the back. That part's all good.
But it's been a month and nobody's ordered them. That's
No. It's not even that. Not even that. Mr. Moores asked us, "Have we ordered them yet?" And then I think somebody replied, "Yeah, we ordered them." And then Mr. Moore's like, "Did you ask anyone about their sizes?"
Oh yeah, they didn't ask for our sizes, and they just ordered all mediums.
We just ordered 30 mediums. Just all mediums. for an unspecified amount of medium t-shirts.
The guy who was supposed to design and order them was sitting in the library and didn't come to the last 5 meetings.
It's okay. You're all freshmen. Medium should fit. You're tiny.
No, I'm pretty sure the medium was
I think
also
they might be
supposed to
too
fit
big.
Mr. Morse.
Yeah, like for people like Sawmill,
But
he's like,
Yeah.
you've seen when Mr. Morse
If
yells
I
at
wear
us
a
when we do
medium, it
something
will go
wrong,
down to my
right?
knees.
You've seen Morse yell at us?
Oh, speaking of Morse, this is our next question. What do you guys think of your coach?
Listen, Mr. Moore's our coach. He's very good. He has very strong opinions on what we should do, but oftentimes they're very helpful. Vade, what do you think of Mr. Moore's? He's a big builder, so he's more
yeah,
involved.
he's very dedicated to the team, provides lots of valuable input to us.
And resources from his son.
He
Yeah,
also
he's been giving us a lot of
he
resources.
gives us very realistic information about our bot. He tells us things that he tells us when things won't work. He
Yeah,
tells us
and-
our ideas and
experience,
tells us
so he
when
knows
they will
it's
not
like-
work. It's our
We
job
wouldn't know
if
anything
our
about
choice if we want to
Notebook.
listen to him or not. But usually, if he says if they're not going to work, there's problems there.
And he wants to see it drive.
He does want to see it drive. But yeah, for Moore's, he's been helpful because without him, we wouldn't have known that we needed a notebook. We didn't know that we needed like money or we didn't know we needed outreach. We still don't know that we need outreach, but it's fine.
We know that we need it. We just don't
We
care.
won the Motivate Award with
We
the
just
outreach we
don't-
have right now, which should be fine.
Yeah, we won an award for outreach, but you know.
It's all about the, what are you gonna do, not what have you done. Oh yeah, the carnival was a big part of that too. I think that's one of the reasons we got Motivate.
Yeah, no, that is why.
Okay. So I was gonna ask you guys. Okay, Samuel, it's like very seriously. Can you talk to us about your programming plan throughout this year and how you started off looking at the challenge and like some of the stuff that you faced, like the issues.
Yeah. So, like at the beginning of the year, like I had no idea. Like everything seems a lot more complex than it really is. So like, I think if anyone wanted to get into programming, like you don't need to have any experience. But yeah, when I started the year, everything seemed really complex to me. But the teachers and older kids really broke it down, and it's really a lot simpler than I thought. You always start like actual programming wise. You always start with like teleop, something easy to make. It's easy drivetrains to program, and then eventually, I think early on I made that a Mechanim drivetrain, and it's the same thing that we're still using because we have Mechanim wheels. And yeah, then after I started programming the drivetrain, once you learn how to make motors move, I think you can do like 90% of the things that you actually like needed to do. Like we had that in-house Scrimmage. I really didn't know how to do anything except move motors and use encoders and IMU, and it was good enough. I still don't, but yeah, that's about it. And then I learned how to use CV a little bit, camera vision, and that's pretty much where we are right now.
Yeah, I remember at the Scrimmage, I was looking over Sawmill's shoulder as he was like changing the inputs to functions that he had made. It'll just like drive forward 100, that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, that looks easy. This must be pre-programmed. And then I asked him about it because I believed like a fool that those were like given to you by first. And then he scrolls down to this behemoth of code. It was an interesting experience spiritually.
Yeah, methods are fun.
You start to realize that the programmers actually do work.
No, because I thought you could just rip the code off of
GitHub.
I'm not sure GitHub. I thought like first provided like a library for you to use stuff. Nope, you can't just go. You can't just go into like command line and type /download. Nope.
I did search for copy paste. Next question.
Okay, as a team, how has food played an important role?
Is this an impro question
serious?
or is this a real question?
Are you serious? Food is very important. It helped us bond with other teams. We exchanged food a lot of times for information.
Forget information. Food.
The funny
Food.
thing is that this isn't
Food
a
for
lie.
parts.
It's actual truth.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize that the snacks stored in the cabinet were ours until like somebody took a bar and started eating it, and I was like, wait, we can eat those?
Yeah.
And then I remember all the way back to the first meeting, Mr. Morris was like, yeah, I think it's important for you guys to have snacks. I was like, oh, that's why the Oreos were cleared out so fast. I thought that was for like a party or something.
No, I think
then, like,
that
the next
other
day,
teams. I think that like other teams have had more of our food than we have had.
I think we had more drinks than actual snacks.
We had drinks?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what drinks?
Kirkland sports drink, just so you know.
Budget Gatorades.
Budget Gatorade.
We had budget Gatorades?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were they?
In
They
our
were,
car.
they were
in our-
there. You could miss them.
Next question.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of food and other teams, we heard you guys have a deal with Syborgs.
And
No,
you guys.
no.
This
Let's deal with
You have a
that.
deal with us?
Information, we do
Yeah.
not express
What?
any
What?
complications with the
Hey, do you want
side-
to tell her about it, Christian? Or
Oh,
Wait, we have a deal?
We
like
have a deal?
unspoken deal? Yeah, you give us parts, we give you food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
that's how it's always is.
Yeah, I mean,
Some-
we still owe you a 17-hole U channel, but
I really want to just put the microphone in my mouth because it's already so.
Why are you putting a big
ASMR.
black thing in your mouth?
he just wants to start an ASMR channel, you know?
I don't-
Alright, let's open up this podcast with just a clip of someone beat.
well, now it's on to our more important questions. Is cereal soup?
Room?
Okay, let's go.
Next question.
All right. Well, I think it's time for this podcast to start to come to an end. But before we leave, could we kick Samuel out? Is that possible?
We'll bring this to a close. For example, you guys are freshmen, right? So do you know anything about your team? Like, why is your team named Nebula?
Basically, we were like the spark or something like that.
It was like a dying star. No, that's like a reborn star. Like
Yeah, I think we got renamed. We like Sparks before or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, dying and then reborn.
It was a Sparks team and then a Vortex team, and then they merged in 2 years ago, something like that, I think.
Right, because Mr. Morse split them up for some reason.
Okay, take a minute, think about this. What are your favorite animals?
Favorite animal?
Yeah.
I like dogs. They're yummy.
Cliche.
They look nice.
Cliche. Typical.
I like unicorns.
Yeah.
Do you have a reason why?
You need a reason to like unicorns?
Well, Samuel over here thinks dogs are yummy.
No, well, koalas are also nice. They're very cute.
Are
but
they
they're
also yummy?
No, no.
a little stringy.
He
I
doesn't
think.
know yet.
Shh. They're also very dumb. So they're kind of like a Vade. They look good on the outside, and you realize how dumb they are on the inside, and they're no longer attractive.
I just want to be friends. That's all I want to be. I want to be friends.
Yes.
Okay, we friends now?
No.
No. No. At least use one from when I was like less than 5 years old.
Yeah, when he was less than 5 years old, his mom was still young.
Damn. See you,
Well, let's go to our last question. So even though you guys are a new team and you're still, learning and growing, do you have any advice that you would like to give to, the coming freshmen about what to do, what not to do, or just general advice for like managing school or stuff?
If you're smarter than someone else on your team, don't include them just because you think it's the right thing to do. Also, CAD before you build.
The amount of usefulness you have to the team is inverse proportionally with the amount of time you spend on Clash of Clans.
What you get, what you give. There you go.
Get what you get. What goes around comes around. If you want to be useful, learn CAD, program, or know which way to screw a screw so that it goes in.
Any more? I know that you're a young team. Questions?
No, I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for coming, and thank you all so much for
Yes.
watching. It was great
Thank
having
for
you
having
guys.
us.
I really want to just put the microphone in my mouth.